make it. I almost didn't last. Why does the week go by so slow, the weekend so fast? But luckily the days come to take my cares away. It's not Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, that's right, it's Friday, Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday, Friday. Today I know the weekend. So I'll get out of bed and be to work on time. I'll give this day to the company, the next 2 days of mine. And when my day's over and the final work hour's past, I'll go home, have a shot of Cuero to the boss who can kiss my Friday, Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday, Friday. Today I know the weekends. Friday, Friday.
Yeah! It's Friday, bitches. Enjoy yourselves. It's going to be gorgeous.
That's what I was, like, a lot of sunshine,
I got to put the air conditioner in the window.
Oh,
what the hell's going on? It's going to be 80. It's going to be 80 on Monday.
No.
77. Yeah.
Lots of sunshine, isn't it? I mean, this week.
Partly cloudy today, but looks like sunny tomorrow and Sunday. So weekend is going to be good. And again, up near 80 on Monday. So air conditioning. It's going to happen. Got some Blackstone Cherry on the way. Got Scott Robert Shaw coming up in the newsroom for Three Ways and Bad News Happy Music. Friday edition, always a good time. Doc will join us to talk racing a bit later on.
Mm-hmm.
New health trend, Gene.
Okay.
Something that you might be interested in.
I'm all ears.
More on that a bit later on. If you need something, you can reach out by going to rockmornings.com. Chad wanted to hear some Volbeat, and Tom wanted to hear some Iron Maiden. We'll try to get to both of those. If you want to hear something, shoot us a text, get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com for the details.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Friday morning, first three-way of the day. What's going on, Sean?
O.J. Simpson's death came almost exactly 3 decades after the murders that changed his reputation from football hero to suspect and cultural touchstone. It summoned remembrances of an odd moment in time in which the country watched a Ford Bronco inch its way along a California freeway with no idea what would happen next. O.J. was 76 years old and reportedly died of cancer. He died without having paid the lion's share of the $33.5 million judgment that a civil jury awarded to the families of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman. The panel found Simpson liable in a wrongful death lawsuit in 1997. Now they say his money is likely go into the court probate process, and the Goldman and Brown families could be at the front of the line to get paid a piece of whatever Simpson left behind. A 54-year-old Minnesota man has been convicted in the slaying of a 17-year-old high school student and the stabbing of 4 others who were tubing on a western Wisconsin river. A Wisconsin Circuit Court jury yesterday found Nikolai Mew guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, 4 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safety, and 1 count of battery. Isaac Schumann was stabbed to death on the Apple River in 2022. Investigators said Mew attacked the group after people accused him of approaching children in the water. Mew told investigators that he acted in self-defense. Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Ann Walsh Bradley is retiring when her current term ends next year. Bradley was first elected to Wisconsin's highest court in 1995 and is completing her 3rd 10-year term. In a statement released yesterday, the 73-year-old Bradley said she knows she could win re-election in 2025, but also says it's time to pass the torch and bring fresh perspectives to the court. Bradley is part of the 4-3 liberal majority on the Wisconsin Supreme Court, so the next election is likely to feature another fight between Democrats and Republicans over which side will control the court. For almost 30 years, La Crosse's Tourism Bureau has organized an annual day trip to a Brewers home game in Milwaukee, and this year that baseball trip will happen the last week of June. The Explore La Crosse Bureau kicked off the sales of tickets for the La Crosse Day at AmFam Field, which will include a tailgate event before the game on June 26th. The La Crosse event traditionally includes a local resident throwing out the first pitch for the ball game, and organizers say the guest pitcher this year will be retired La Crosse Center director Art Fay.
That's cool.
He better practice.
I think he's got it in the bag. He's over there at UWL calling the games, right? Mm-hmm. Doing the PA announcing for the loggers as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some skills, Shaw. I think he'll be all right. I don't think he'll let you down. Good guy.
It's a long way to home plate, though.
Yeah, do they start on the bump, though? I thought they were, like, in front of it. I thought they didn't let him get on the dirt.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Guess we'll find out June 26th.
Brewers got postponed yesterday due to the rain,
yes.
So they're going to make that up in August as a part of a doubleheader. My Red Sox again fell apart against the Orioles. So glad that these are night games and I don't stay up to watch
Don't have to witness the
the treachery.
misery.
I just see it in the morning when I get up on my phone. What do you got planned this weekend, Shaw? Anything?
I think I'm going to get my scooter out of storage finally.
Oh.
Do some riding.
I wondered about that.
It's going to be almost 80 on Monday.
I saw that.
Dry, nice, mild weekend. It looks like all throughout Monday, actually.
It's going to be warming up nicely. Sunny.
See you scooting around town.
Yep.
We have a birthday party to go to tomorrow. I think it's two of our friends their birthdays they must be close together or something.
Okay.
So they're having
Celebrating
like a
together?
dual birthday party.
Okay.
Is it outside?
I have no idea. I don't
Okay.
know. Wife. That's her department, not mine. Where this stuff happens, all these things.
Just going along for the ride?
Yeah, well, and we may go for a ride on Saturday, tomorrow morning as well, with it being in the mid-70s and mostly sunny in the area. Might get on the bike and go somewhere. We haven't, I've been riding, obviously, off and on as the weather's improved, but wife hasn't gotten on the back yet, so we'll see. What you got going on?
We're going to Black Earth.
Mom?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got
More cleaning of the house?
more cleaning of the house to do, and we're down to the last stages of where they're Salvation Army's going to come get some furniture, and we're at that stage of getting things cleaned out. And then I'm taking her to lunch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where do you go to lunch in Black Earth?
I told her it's in Sauk City where her assisted living facility is, and I told her that she could pick.
Right.
There's a Culver's there.
There is a Culver. Thank you for knowing that. That's the headquarters. That's the very first one that was ever built.
Ooh,
was in
Butterburger.
So we talked about that. She also there's a new Mexican restaurant you opened and I heard the tacos
Okay.
We're good.
or something. So
All right.
there's that. The Eagle Inn. They have the lighter fare senior. Yeah, I can't eat
Senior
that
lunch,
much anymore.
yeah.
I don't want you spending money on the food. I can't. I smaller portions now, and I don't want
Sounds familiar.
as much. And you're wasting your money, and then I won't eat the leftovers. So I don't know. It's up to her. So I don't know where we're gonna go. But I said, how about a little drive too? So
that's nice.
we might
All right.
take
Windows down.
There you
Windows
go.
down. I mean, it's gonna be beautiful getting her out and having a lunch and
Sure.
going somewhere and seeing
Good
something.
day.
Maybe Merrimack, the ferry, I think is running, so we could
that's
take
up
her
and running. I
across.
saw that the other day. Yep.
Yeah, take her across on the ferry. So
I got to pick up my lawnmower today. I had it serviced. Usually I get it serviced in the spring, like, late winter, early spring, try to get it in there so it's ready to go. But apparently it needed parts this year, Shaw, so had to wait a little extra.
But it's ready now?
But they called me yesterday, left me a message, so it's ready. I'm pick it up. I'm going to need it, too, because my lawn is already starting to, it's like, hey, dude.
See it grow.
Wow, yeah. When you spend all the money that I do on my lawn to make it look nice, you got to expect it to start growing right away. So it might need a little trim this weekend to get that thing up and running. More from Shaw coming up in just a bit. Also, sports after some Blackstone Cherry and some Metallica. It's their latest. It's Nervous.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
The Masters is back on CBS. Prepare yourself for a week of the image of a golf ball being struck in slow motion. The tee spinning slowly round and round. Whose tee is it? And will they pick it up? Who cares? Because it's the Masters on CBS.
Hello, friends. Bit of a delay yesterday because of the weather, and then they had to kind of shut things down a little early because of darkness, but Bryson DeChambeau carted a 7 under 65 to grab a 3-stroke lead when his weather-delayed opening round ended at the Masters yesterday. World number 1 golfer Scottie Scheffler was a stroke back after carting a 6 under 66. And Tiger Woods able to complete 13 holes at 1 under before play was suspended at 7:51 Eastern time because of darkness. He'll get back at it today. I think 23 holes.
yeah.
Going to try to fit it all in. Rain also affecting Major League Baseball, including the Brewer game yesterday against the Reds. They had to postpone that bad boy. The game will be made up as the first game of a split doubleheader on August 30th. So, end of summer. Bucks are at Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at 7 p.m. on NBA TV. Final game of the regular season is on Sunday at Orlando at noon. Obviously, no Giannis over the next 2 games as he deals with that quad strain or a calf strain. And as Shaw mentioned, O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Football superstar, Hollywood actor who was acquitted of charges that he killed his former wife and her friends, but later found liable in a civil suit, died at the age of 76 yesterday. Former interpreter for Shohei Ohtani apparently stole more than $16 million.
What?
Yeah. So
the
we were
4.5 was
we were
not...
told all along it was 4.5, that, which makes it like that much crazier that he didn't know. You $4.5, $500,000 transfers, all this, you hear all this, and you're like, okay, dude, I am standing on the hill of Shohei knew, and this guy is the fall guy. This guy is the fall guy for Shohei Ohtani. That's my personal take. That is so much money to go missing over the course of how many years? I mean, come on, it wasn't that many years. It was
was it 4? I thought it was 3 or 4.
We originally heard $4.5 million. Now it's like upwards of $16 million. And they're trying to complete this thing quickly, and the guy's going to plead guilty, and this, that,
and they're saying
it's like they want to finish it up and get it all wrapped up with a bow on top, and Shohei goes about his business. I think this guy's the fall guy. I really do. It just seems too perfect. It just seems way too neat and tidy. And what a black eye from Major League Baseball that would be if their biggest star, the number one guy right now, gets popped for gambling.
Right. Well, yes, that would be bad.
So how do you avoid that? Well, you make the interpreter the fall guy. And he does some time in Martha Stewart prison.
Thought.
This is, again, all my opinion.
Just
this
saying,
is all my opinion.
$16 million that nobody knew about.
That many people that handle Shohei Ohtani, that many people involved in his business. The lawyers, the accountants, the personal assistants, the interpreter people, the business people, everybody, all these people. This guy somehow managed to get $16 million out of him with no one noticing? Come on, man. Come on. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice surrendering to police yesterday on charges including aggravated assault after he and another driver of a speeding sports car caused a crash involving a half a dozen vehicles on a Dallas highway last month.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
Rice's lawyer says, quote, Mr. Rice acknowledges his actions and feels deeply for those injured as a result of this accident. Dallas police on Wednesday said arrest warrants were issued for Rice, who's only 23 years young. 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury. Meanwhile, the other guy involved in that accident, the one he was racing against, SMU football player Teddy Knox, their cornerback, he's been suspended now due to his involvement in that multi-car crash that happened in Dallas, which also included Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice.
Yep.
No surprise there. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got more from Shaw coming up in just a bit. Doc will join us later on to talk racing. Going to try to get to some of that requested music from Tom and Chad. They wanted some Iron Maiden and some Volbeat. If you've got something you want, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Oh, you know who you are. You've been doing your daily action, putting lots of overtime. You need some time off satisfaction. Just think how tough it's been. You've been putting out all that labor. If you use your wit, you can get out quick and do yourself a favor. Friday in effect, and you're pretty beat, I bet. It's been one tough week, you've hit your peak, and you've earned your paycheck. But now this week is over, and it's a little fun you're seeking. Your grin is wide, and I know why. Look out, here come the weekend. You know what I'm saying? That weekend's gonna be a monster, y'all.
I don't know if it'll be a monster, but getting my lawnmower, I know that.
Lots of people are going to be outside this week.
I got to put the window AC in the bedroom. It's going to be 80, dude. I'm not messing around.
It's going to be nice for most of the state of Wisconsin, too.
I got to get our water fountain thing out in the front yard.
73, 74, 77.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sunny.
If you want to stay inside and watch television, you certainly can do that. Paramount Plus today, the streaming premiere of Bob Marley, One Love.
Oh, yeah. I had heard about that.
Also over on Apple TV Plus today, the premiere of Argyle. Sam Rockwell is a spy. Rescues a reclusive author, played by Bryce Dallas Howard from Assassins. was in theaters. No?
Okay, nah.
Today on Netflix, the series premiere of the Good Times reboot. It's an animated reboot, Shaw, of the classic 70s sitcom, Good Times. Ryan Gosling, the Goose, is the host of SNL. Chris Stapleton, musical guest. I actually know the musical guest
Right.
on SNL.
No kidding.
9 times out of 10, I have no idea who the hell they're talking about. Over on ABC on Sunday night, it's American Idol. Sunday night on CBS, a 2-hour special. Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden, the greatest arena run of all time.
Yeah, that's for real.
On Sunday night, you said?
Yeah, Sunday night on CBS starting at 8 o'clock, Shaw. Billy Joel. I think it's a 1 hour or 2-hour special. Late night television tonight, most of them are in repeats, but Fallon is new. He's got Jesse Eisenberg, Susie Essman, and Nathan McIntosh. New in theaters this weekend, Civil War, rated R.
Yeah.
Violence erupting across America under the dictatorship of Nick Offerman, a president trying to cling to power in his third term after 19 states secede and declare war. Basically, the movie centers around 4 journalists trying to cross the war zone and reach D.C. before the 4th of July so they can interview the president before rebel forces attack the Capitol.
Wow.
So it's got like a purge.
Yeah, kind of.
Purge kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard much about it, so I watched a couple trailers. I was thinking, well, it's new. Maybe it'll...
Not for you?
Well, it's action and it's suspense and it's probably not for me.
Civil War, rated R, in theaters.
Well, at least in the theaters.
This weekend. Also in theaters this weekend, rated R, Don't Tell the Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
What?
I thought they already made that movie.
They did. It's an African-American remake of the 91 Christina Applegate film. 17-year-old becomes responsible for her brothers and sisters after the mom leaves the country, and the old lady that she hired to watch them dies in her sleep. So, yeah, there's that. As far as new music, this weekend, Blue Oyster Cult has a new album, Shaw, called Ghost Stories.
What year is this?
2024. It's their 15th album, by the way.
Right.
How many original members are left in Blue Oyster Cult?
I don't know, one.
Any?
I
One?
have zero idea about that.
I think that's like, we went to the Dells to see Night Ranger with Royal Bliss, or we went to see Royal Bliss, and they happened to be opening for I think it was Night Ranger. And I think one of the guys in Bliss told us that they have no original members in Night Ranger. Also, new music from Mark Knopfler.
Wow.
One Deep River, his 10th solo album. He, of course, the lead singer of Dire Straits. And there you go, Shaw. That's what's in theaters and on TV and out on CD or MP3 or whatever you want to get for music this weekend. That's what's going on. I don't have any plans to go to the theater, but we do want to see the new Ghostbusters film now that the crowds have died down a little bit. Try to get into the theater, watch that.
Surprised you haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
Well, I have. I no longer care so much about the Thursday midnight release thing anymore. The crowds are. I don't like dealing with the crowds. I don't like people. I don't like being in a theater full of people on their phones and talking and being annoying. What?
I know you don't care about ratings and Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff, but man, they slaughter that movie.
They don't like it?
I
don't. What do they? Is it? Is there something particular that they don't like?
I didn't go into reading it. I just looked at the
Okay.
ratings and I went, oh, wow, that's a lot worse than I thought it was going to be.
I also want to see that Godzilla and Kong film.
Yes.
That looks pretty good, Shaw.
Yeah, that's playing right now.
Yep.
By the way, the Blue Oyster Cult, if you care, is 11 of the 12 previously unreleased songs were recorded by the band's original lineup between 78 and 83 and preserved by their sound engineer. So it's old music that's re-released.
Got it.
Is it music that was on other albums or music that's just
previously unreleased songs that were recorded originally between 78 and 83?
Do we know how many of the original
including
members?
a cover of the Beatles, I Feel Fine, apparently. What?
Blue Oyster, that's Godzilla, right? Speaking of Godzilla.
So
they do.
it's-
Oh, no, Godzilla.
It's music from that, from a long time ago that was preserved. So
there's that, Shaw.
I guess you'd have to be kind of a big fan to seek that out.
Well, it's not new music, let's just be clear. It's new old music.
Right.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else happening?
A teenager who threw fuel onto a bonfire in Wisconsin in 2022.
I remember that.
Will have to spend at least 6 months in jail. 18-year-old Sam Armstrong was attending a homecoming party near Green Bay when he threw the barrel of fuel onto the bonfire during a backyard party. Several people were severely burned. He had pleaded no contest to 13 felony counts. Armstrong will have to report to jail on May 30th, but first will be allowed to walk in his high school graduation ceremony. A body found earlier this week in Rochester is believed to be that of a person reported missing in March of 2023. A person walking their dog near the Gordon Yeager Wildlife Management Area found what appeared to be a deceased person on Wednesday. Because of the prolonged exposure, they have not been able to positively identify the person whose body was found. The medical examiner's office is investigating, but police do say that no foul play is suspected. Wisconsin's Ron Johnson and Iowa's 2 U.S. senators are among more than 40 Republican senators in Washington calling for an impeachment trial for Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The senators say millions of people have illegally entered the U.S. from the southern border since Joe Biden became president, and they call it a nightmare and a national security disaster. In a letter to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, the Republicans argue that Mayorkas has already been impeached by the House, and the Senate has a duty to put him on trial. A bill to help military veterans get work in farming and ranching is being co-sponsored by area Congressman Derek Van Orden. According to Van Orden's House office, the Ag Vets Act would direct the USDA to award competitive grants to help veterans learn farming skills. The plan also is designed to help reduce a shortage in the number of agricultural workers. People and companies that receive the grants would be required to make classroom education and other farm training available to veterans. And retired lacrosse center director Art Fahey will throw out the first pitch at the Lacrosse Day Brewers game coming in June. That was announced during an event yesterday, kicking off ticket sales through the Explore Lacrosse Tourism Bureau. This will be the 27th year of Lacrosse Day at a Brewers game. Organizers say the lacrosse group is typically the largest from any Wisconsin community to attend. This year, the game will happen June 26th against the World Series champion Texas Rangers, with first pitch set for 1:10 p.m. on that Wednesday. Ticket sales began yesterday at the Moose Lodge. Online sales have not yet begun.
Thank you, Shaw. Appreciate that. Three-way, we'll get back to him in just a bit for more information. Tisha sent us a text, said, can you please play me some Incubus, Dig or Drive? Thanks, Brian Jean. Also got a text earlier from Chad who wanted to hear some Volbeat, Last Day Under the Sun. Tisha, I got your Incubus here. It's Pardon Me, and I got that Volbeat coming up next.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Volbeat, Last Day Under the Sun. That is by request for Chad, who texted in, said, morning, guys. Could you please play Volbeat, Last Day Under the Sun? Thank you. You're welcome. Text from Charlie says, could you play some Rammstein, please? Try to get to that. Tisha wanted to hear that Incubus. We did that. She said, yay, thanks, guys. Have a good one. Same to you. Enjoy your weekend. Tom wanted to hear that Iron Maiden. Said, have a great weekend. Also got a text from Dean.
Yes.
He said, the feds checked Ohtani's text messages back to 2018 and cleared him. That's great if you believe everything the government tells you. You think our government hasn't done people dirty, trying to overthrow other governments and stuff like that? You think they wouldn't just overlook Ohtani for a little chunk of change somewhere? Come on, man.
Well, it went from, $4 million to $16 million that he embezzled somehow. Maybe he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I'm sorry. It's not Ohtani that you don't understand how many people are involved in this guy's life.
That nobody said.
He is a billion-dollar industry in himself. I mean, with all the money that this guy can manufacture, as an advertisement, as a brand, all this, we know. I mean, this is what we do. Someone somewhere along the line
knew that money was leaving.
$16 million. And Dean, I get where you're trying. He also tried to make the comparison that $16 million from Ohtani's bank account is like $16 from my bank account. Not really, dude. $16 million is a lot of effing money.
Still sounds like a lot.
A lot of money. Yes, Ohtani makes a lot more than $16 million, conversely, but $16 million gone missing? Come on, man. Someone somewhere along the line, an accountant, a lawyer, a business person, a sports manager, someone along the line has got to be privy to some of that information. This guy wasn't his banker. It wasn't the only person, right, involved in his accounts. Come on. Come on, man. I get it, dude. You're a Dodger fan. You got your head so far up your Dodger-loving ass, you can't see the forest through the trees. I get it. But you cannot convince me that Ohtani wasn't someone on his team somehow aware of what was going on or involved. $16 million. And again, they're trying to tie this all up real nice and quick. This guy's going to plead guilty and Club Med. He's going to go to Club Martha, whatever the hell that jail was. Do some easy time.
We got baseball to play, man. It's here. It's now. It's right now.
Yeah.
We don't have time for this.
More from Shaw in just a bit. We'll get to Doc's racing report as well. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com. The Offspring is coming up next.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Offspring got to get away. You've probably seen the signs for years. Caution, deaf child in area.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
There's a father in Philadelphia who's now trying to help install new signs that say autistic person area. And the goal is to get people to slow down, be a little more cautious on the roadways. Autism Acceptance Month, a station in Philadelphia did a big story on a father who is installing special street signs across the city. They say autistic person area. Anyone can request one online. He's installed about 80 of them in the last 2 months, and he's got over 300 more requests that he's working on.
We need to bring more awareness to motorists. We see a lot of hit and runs going on lately. Rolled it out about 2 months ago, and it's just been going amazing. To date, they installed 77 signs and counting.
That is Eric Williams, the guy behind the project. He is the founder of Project Elijah Empowering Autism, or PEEA. Named the nonprofit after his son, who was diagnosed with autism at age 3. Signs are meant to send a message to drivers because a person with autism may cross the street with little warning.
Yep, that's right.
Interested families can fill out an online application. You can obviously look up the PEEA or Project Elijah Empowering Autism if you want to find out more. He said rolled it out about 2 months ago, and it's just been going amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of interest in that.
It says close to 400 applications to date. They installed 77 signs and counting. One of the signs went up outside a building where Jamia Tucker Mulero works. She runs a nonprofit that provides after-school activities to 12 children who all have autism, including her teenage son. She says, we have a little boy. When he gets picked up, he instantly runs out into the street. We have school buses that drop the kids off here. You get cars that fly by and don't stop. She says that's why the sign is so important.
Yeah. We know someone personally whose child doesn't understand dangers like that, just doesn't understand the dangers of that, and doesn't take the time or look.
Sees the bus, loves the bus, wants to get on the bus, needs to get on the bus, all the things.
Cross the road, there's a dog over there or whatever, and doesn't know or can't understand the dangers of passing cars. So smart.
Yeah. Again, if you want to take a look, it's out of the Philadelphia area, and the project is called Project Elijah Empowering Autism, or PEEA. I don't know if they're doing it outside of the Philadelphia area yet, but might be
inspirational.
Yeah, someone in our area. We got more from Shaw coming up in just a bit. Also going to get to some Beartooth. Try to get to that requested Iron Maiden as well.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
About 60 minutes after we've eaten, we put on our running shoes and off we go. Now, why do we do this? Well, we eat a lot of fiber, so we have gas. Everybody does. And, you fart when you walk. So that's why I named it that. But the main reason that we do the fart walks is because by walking for as little as 2 minutes, we usually walk for about 10, 15, 20, but not really quickly. It's more of a moderate walk. We are helping reduce our chances of developing type 2 diabetes. So, sign yourself up for fart walks.
The latest health trend, Shaw, is walking and farting.
Mm-hmm. They go together.
Fart walks.
Heard of such things.
Right up your alley, Gene.
I have not heard of such things.
Well, you just told me what you did last night. You said you went for a walk with the dogs.
I did. I didn't.
Maybe have a little high-fiber dinner before that and then unleash the fury throughout your neighborhood. A little crop dusting. What? Have you never heard of crop dusting?
I have heard of crop dusting. I have not heard of fart walks.
Fart walk is trending after a 70-year-old cookbook author named Marilyn Smith coined it on TikTok. That, of course, was her that we just heard from. She's a big fan of high-fiber meals, Shaw. Gets their bowels moving, right? She and her husband go on regular fart walks to get things moving. Helps with bloating. Walking is a great low-impact way to get some exercise. A GI doctor.
That part I agree with.
It helps with digestion.
A gastrointestinal doctor actually weighed in and said your fart walks don't need to be all that long either.
You get it out quick,
it depends.
5 or 10 minutes can be helpful. The doctor said, quote, when you are moving, your GI tract is also moving. There needs to be motion to help move the food along. Marilyn, not too embarrassed to talk about her fart walks. I love this woman because farting is my jam.
70, she doesn't care.
Doesn't think you should be either. She's proud of her fart walk, Shaw. Obviously sees the humor and forever being known as the fart walk inventor.
Sure.
At least she's not the prancer-size lady. Remember her?
Yes.
Shaw?
I'm trying to.
The lady that prancer-sized like a horse?
Don't try.
Oh, yes.
With the white pants and the weird hair, the 90-year-old lady did the prancer-sizing thing, pretended she was a horse.
I got a new way to walk. Walk, walk. I got a new way to walk. Walk, walk. I got a new way to walk. And my new walk suits me fine.
Wow. The last one really burned a few calories. Well, and farting burns calories too, right? 7 calories or something like that every time you toot.
So it's the high fiber part of the diet and then going for the walk
Going for the walk.
afterwards.
So you eat some Brussels sprouts, right? Those are high fiber, aren't they? Drink some
Vegetables,
Metamucil
sure.
and then just unleash the
Have some
fury.
grape nuts, yeah.
I fart in your general direction.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I accidentally ate high fiber oatmeal?
No.
Well, my wife is going to hate me for this, but she has a lot of women struggle with bathroom stuff, right?
And so she bought
So she has Metamucil. I don't have any problem, Shaw. As you know, I'm a fan of going to the bathroom. I'm a regular pooper. Everything's good to go for me.
I'm very proud.
Yes, and I enjoy talking about it. It's one of my favorite subjects. But she has some Metamucil that she bought to try and help her on the weekends, and then apparently she also bought some high-fiber oatmeal. Well, I didn't realize it was high-fiber oatmeal. And, you know, dude, when you're an adult, maybe not you, Shaw, but when you're a human adult like me, one little bag of oatmeal is not enough, right? A little bag of oatmeal, it's like half a cup.
Okay.
So I did 3 bags of the oatmeal.
High fiber oatmeal.
Little hot water in there, mixed it all up.
Yes, maybe a little brown sugar,
little dash of milk, and
maple
then
syrup, maybe.
It was delish, right? I'm doing it on Saturday when I'm
butter, maybe some
in the morning.
raisins.
I'm up. I have my coffee, and then I had the 3 bags of the high five. And boy,
was it a long day?
we had plans, and they got canceled. We were supposed to go do some stuff. I said I can't go. I said I got to
stay home.
This is not, and I didn't realize. She's like, "How many?" I said I had 3 of them. I ate 3.
Well, it worked.
It worked. I'll tell you that. It worked. Not doing it again, but it worked.
That takes up an afternoon, Shaw.
I don't think a fart walk would have saved me. I don't think I could have walked. That's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I needed more than the farting to relieve that. 3 bags of high-fiber oatmeal. Not good, Shaw.
More than you needed, probably.
Learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing was there was only 3 bags in the box. You know what I mean? So you're like,
So if there would have been 4, you would have eaten those 2.
Well, you might have.
I might have only had 2 instead of 3. Yeah. Quaker oatmeal, high fiber oatmeal, Shaw, FYI. It
Gets
does
things moving.
It does the trick. At least it did for me. Fart walk. You and Mary tonight, Shaw.
Okay.
What are you having for dinner? What's your plans?
We don't usually make plans on Fridays.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You go out and you have a little drink.
We'll just raid the fridge, or we'll throw a pizza in the oven, or order a pizza or something.
All right, well, throw some Brussels sprouts and some broccoli on top of that thing, and then get your fart walk in.
Got it.
It'd be a lot easier to go for a fart walk if you had a dog, too. I
could blame it on the dog.
See that elephant running under there? 3-way now with Shaw in the newsroom. What else going on?
Well, a man and a 13-year-old girl who both shot at police during a pursuit in Wisconsin, were later found dead and may have been involved in a slaying in Iowa. That man, 38-year-old Alexander Grunke of Middleton, was found dead Wednesday night after a standoff with sheriff's deputies at a home in Albion in Dane County. The girl was found dead from an undetermined cause in a wooded area nearby. The man was driving a car deemed suspicious after a slaying in Dubuque, Iowa. And once a pursuit started, both the man and the girl both fired gunshots at pursuing officers. Road spikes disabled the car and the two fled, the girl into the woods and the man into the Albion home. Police entered the house and were able to safely remove a woman and her two children while Grunke remained inside. Grunke was then heard firing shots from inside the house, and he was later found dead by apparent suicide. Grunke earlier, this is bizarre, had left a 5-month-old baby at a home in a nearby town, and that child and the teen were apparently the children of the victim of the slaying in Dubuque. More details about the Dubuque
my gosh,
slaying.
what is happening?
Yeah, right, exactly. And a 13-year-old girl. Wisconsin's Bipartisan Elections Commission rejected a petition that trying to force a recall election targeting the state's top elected Republican who has drawn the ire of former President Donald Trump. Trump backers, angry with Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, launched the recall effort, citing his refusal to decertify President Joe Biden's win in the state in 2020. Vos further angered Trump supporters when he did not back a plan to impeach Megan Wolf, the state's top elections official. Staff of the Wisconsin's Election Commission had recommended that the petition be rejected, saying organizers had not gathered enough valid signatures. The commission voted 5-0 yesterday to reject the recall effort, agreeing it was clear that there were not enough signatures. The ride-hailing companies Uber and Lyft said they will delay their planned exit from Minneapolis to July 1st after city officials decided this week to push back the start of an ordinance that increases driver pay. The Minneapolis City Council voted unanimously to start the new pay plan on July 1st instead of May 1st. Some council members said this gives other ride-hailing companies more time to establish themselves in the market before Uber and Lyft potentially leave, and it gives Minnesota lawmakers a chance to pass new statewide rules. The finale of the Reds-Brewers series yesterday postponed because of heavy rain in Cincinnati. The game will now be played as a doubleheader on August 30th. Wednesday night's game was delayed for nearly 2 hours and then ended up being played in a steady rain throughout. The Brewers are back in action on the road in Baltimore tonight to start a 3-game weekend series.
Shaw in the newsroom. We'll get back to him in just a bit. Got Doc joining us later on to talk racing. Get to some Wayland after Beartooth.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, our good friends in Wayland with Get a Little. And the last time we talked to Phil before the release of their new CD, he hinted at some things that they were working on. And one of those things is to get the band back together.
Supposedly.
The original lineup.
Yeah.
Dean and Phil and Mitch. Tyler behind the skins. Bratfest, May 24th, Wayland.
The original
lineup back together. They,
Madison.
of course, have been through many iterations since Dean and Tyler have left, but they're getting all three of them back together, all four of them back together and doing the damn thing. May 24th, Bratfest.
Sounds like fun.
Is going to be awesome. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. You got the Brewers getting rained out yesterday. They'll make that up as part of a doubleheader on August 30th. Bucks are at Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at 7 o'clock on NBA TV. Last game of the regular season for the Bucks will be on Sunday at noon in Orlando. No Giannis the next two games. We'll see if he makes it into the first round of the playoffs. Masters continuing today. Bryson DeChambeau, 7 under 65 yesterday to grab a 3-stroke lead. Scotty Scheffler, stroke behind, carting a 6 under 66. And Tiger Woods got 13 holes in. Came in at a shot underneath. Nice.
Dude, I cannot stop reading these Jason Day social media posts about his pants.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So apparently he had on, he was always he's with a new sponsor.
Right.
And these are, I might not be saying it right, Malbon gear. That's who his new sponsor is. So these are Malbon pants, apparently. And after 7 years with Nike, these are like, they're kind of, did you see them?
They're different.
They're a little, they're more baggy-ish or whatever. Oh my God, the Twitter responses are hilarious. I'm dying. Jason Day holds the unique distinction of being the only man in the field at the Masters who could jump out of a plane and land safely today.
Parachute pants.
Parachute pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of memes and
Oh, yeah.
Man, where did he get his trousers?
I'm guessing he'll have a different set of pants on today. Maybe some
I
a little
don't know,
more.
man. He should dive into it. You know what I mean?
Oh, lean into it? Yeah.
Yeah. Why are his pants look like? Oh, so funny.
Elsewhere in sports, Sidney Crosby became the NHL's 10th all-time leading point scorer last night after he registered 3 points in the team's win against the Red Wings. Crosby scored a goal, had 2 assists, including the 1,000th assist of his career. He now has 1,591 career points. He surpassed Phil Esposito, Espo, for 10th place and now sits just 50 points behind Colorado Avalanche legend Joe Sakic. For 9th place, Crosby's 1,000 career assists ranks 14th all-time, and his 591 goals rank 21st. He's also in his 19th season, so may have a few more good years left, but I don't know if he's going to break a ton more records. Last but not least, absolutely wonderful news this morning.
What is this?
Waking up to a beautiful sunny day
Yeah, it's a Friday. It's got that feel.
where Tom Brady says he
God.
might return to the NFL. Oh,
Stop it.
my God. It moved
To do what?
to throw the football
He's not going to throw
and
the
be
football. Is
the
he?
greatest of all time. Tom Brady said he was retiring for good from football back on February 1st of last year. Remember the video on the beach, right?
Yes.
Sitting in the sand?
Yes.
But much like Michael Jordan, the other GOAT, retirement is difficult when you got it in your blood. In an appearance on the Deep Cut podcast, Brady was asked by host Vic Blends whether he would pick up the phone if a team called him in the event of an injury. TB12 said, quote, "I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if they're going to let me if I become an owner of an NFL team. I'm always going to be in good shape. I'll always be able to throw the ball. So to come in for a little bit like MJ coming back, I don't know if they would let me, but I wouldn't be opposed to it."
Yeah, so not a full-time quarterback, but an emergency situation and they need somebody. But he can't do that if does he own a team?
Well, so he has a bid in to purchase a stake in the Raiders, and it's still on the table. I think it's going to get approved, and he'll eventually become an owner, but I don't know. How does that stop him from playing from it?
Probably. Probably does.
All I know is that apparently we're going to be in New England for Tom Brady Day at Gillette Stadium. And I'm looking into getting tickets for that.
What is that?
So
everybody like you that's just
it's a celebration of all things Tom Brady at Gillette Stadium where, of course, the Patriots play. And it's happening on June 12th. 6 Super Bowls, number 12, 6-12.
Okay.
And they're rolling. Apparently, it's a very big deal. Like, you know me, I listen to these guys.
Yeah.
It's apparently going to be a massive thing. I got to figure out how to get my hands on some tickets for that. Oh boy.
Okay.
I may not come back from vacation. Got some Green Day on the way. If you need something, you can get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Good morning, people.
What on earth is that?
It looks like a grilled cheese sandwich.
Isn't
It is.
Today is National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day.
Today we celebrate an American classic.
It is National Grilled Cheese.
Ooey, gooey, warm, and delicious.
It's National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day.
Love grilled cheese sandwiches.
It's just good old comfort food.
It's showtime.
National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Also National Licorice Day. National Only Child Day as well. I'm not a fan of licorice. Certainly not the black licorice. I don't mind a Twizzler every once in a while, but only if it's there. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy Twizzlers, Shaw.
We only buy them when we're traveling.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why. It just seems like a good
Me
snack
too.
to eat while you're driving.
Even at the theater, I don't.
Whenever we went to the Dells, we would take bags of Twizzlers and traveling too.
But National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day, my wife actually bought. We were at the grocery store last weekend.
Is this the tomato soup and grilled cheese combo?
Yeah, she hasn't. I don't think she's eaten it yet, but she says, I'm a sucker for special items.
Well, try it and see what you think.
I was flipping channels, I don't know, the other day, and I think on the Drew Barrymore show, she was like having the audience taste test it as well. It doesn't stop you from dipping your actual grilled cheese sandwich into the tomato soup,
It's
but
just
it's
the
apparently
blended flavor of them already together. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No one knows exactly how old the actual grilled cheese sandwich is, but one of the earliest references to a melted cheese sandwich is featured in Sarah Tyson Rohrer's cookbook from the year 1902 called Mrs. Rohrer's New Cookbook, as opposed to Mrs. Rohrer's old cookbook, which probably came out before 1902, Shaw. Grilled cheese sandwiches been around for a long time.
Sure have. Withstood the test of time.
Making them at night. New research says the average American adult eats 36 grilled cheeses each and every year.
Nope. That's way high
About
for me.
one every week. If you're thinking that's crazy, I haven't had a single grilled cheese since COVID.
Yeah.
You're not alone. I think, obviously, if you have smaller children,
You're making them all the time.
there's a good
but
chance
then-
you're having grilled cheese.
Easy. You have the ingredients you need.
Well, and the kids
like
love
them.
it, yeah. In a poll, 57% of Americans say they prefer white bread for grilled cheese. 24% say sourdough. 23% say wheat. Who's got that many different types of bread in their house?
Well, I have gluten-free bread because we have a couple people who have to eat gluten-free. And Shaw, I take when we make gluten-free grilled cheese, I use your method and I use the mayo instead of the butter.
Makes it a little crispier
Well,
on
it's
the
crispier and it's more oily, so it helps that dry bread.
70% of people say they use butter. 20% say mayo.
So there you go, Shaw. I took that from you, and it makes better grilled cheese with that bread for sure.
Glad that works for you.
Yeah.
Just on the GF bread or on all the bread? Americans, by the way, divided on how to cut the sandwich.
What do you mean?
I don't even cut it. I just eat, whatever. I'm an adult.
Well, do you cut it in half or do you do it diagonally?
Diagonally.
It gives better dunking ability.
52% of people in a survey say they cut them in half diagonally, so the triangles.
Triangles.
While 21% of them cut them half vertically. That's up and down.
Yeah, no, I know.
And then horizontally is another 10%. That's in half this way. 17% of people don't cut them at all. That's me, Shaw. I don't see the point in bothering. Do you have a specific cheese? Like if you don't have this cheese in the fridge, you're not going to make a grilled cheese sandwich?
No.
No, typically when I make grilled cheese, I just use Kraft singles.
Yeah. Well, they melt easily.
There is a website, I think it's put on by the Wisconsin Dairy Council. It's called, oh boy, now I'm going to have to think of what the name of the website is. GrilledCheeseAcademy.com. And there are, 50, 100 different grilled cheese recipes on there using all different kinds of cheeses and other ingredients.
Yeah. I like to use different kinds of cheeses. You know what I mean? If I have them, if I only have one style of cheese, I'll use that. But if I've got several different varieties.
The combo?
Yeah. I like to go that route. I have yet to do the mayo. How much is it, just a thin coating, Shaw? Is that what you put on there?
Yeah, just enough to, grill it up. It'll
It does grill it up nicely. I will give you that.
You had bacon, tomatoes, any of that stuff in there? No?
Not typically.
I will if I can.
Gotcha. All right, National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day, Shaw. Making them at night. You don't get that reference.
I don't.
That's okay, though.
It's from a movie?
No, it's from the Shane Gillis stand-up that you didn't watch because
I watched part of it.
You were offended by it? Mm-hmm. Sorry, bud.
That's okay.
Gene and I can handle the offensive language. Three-way with Shaw. What else going on?
O.J. Simpson has died. The decorated football star who was acquitted of charges he killed his former wife and her friend, but wound up in prison years later in an unrelated case, died Wednesday. He was 76. His family made the announcement yesterday. Simpson said last year that he was battling prostate cancer. Simpson's gridiron legacy was forever overshadowed by the 1994 slayings of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. A criminal court found him not guilty of murder, but a separate civil trial jury found him liable. Simpson's 9-year prison stint was for the armed robbery of 2 sports memorabilia dealers.
By the way, if you're not a fan of O.J. Simpson, and let's be perfectly honest, a lot of people are not, consequence.net. If you go to that website, Shaw, consequence.net, they have a 35-minute video of Norm Macdonald's crapping all over O.J. Simpson from back in the 90s when he was on the Weekend Update desk and all the bits that he did about O.J. and stuff. So if you're not a fan and you want to reminisce and are happy and want to tap dance on his grave a little bit, you can go to consequence.net.
Doctors say one of the suspects in the Slender Man stabbing is not ready to leave Wisconsin State Mental Hospital. It was in 2014 when Morgan Geyser and a friend, both 12 years old, were arrested after stabbing their friend 19 times. Geyser, who was later diagnosed with schizophrenia, believed the girls were appeasing the fictional character Slender Man. The victim survived, and Geyser and the friend were forced to undergo psychiatric treatment. Geyser was in court yesterday to request to be released from the hospital, but doctors disagreed. There's a reason why President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are spending so much time attacking each other. People don't think either man has much to brag about when it comes to his own record. Americans generally think that while they were in the White House, both did more harm than good on some key issues. But the two candidates have different weak spots. For Biden, it's widespread unhappiness on 2 issues, the economy and immigration. Trump, meanwhile, faces an electorate where substantial shares think he harmed the country on a range of issues. Can airports in 2 different cities both call themselves San Francisco Airport? City leaders in Oakland, California have voted to change their local airport's name to San Francisco Bay Oakland Airport. They argue that too many travelers automatically fly through nearby San Francisco, even though Oakland may be closer to where they want to go. Officials in San Francisco are threatening to sue, saying the proposed Oakland name violates the copyrighted name of San Francisco's own airport.
What?
Can I still get the air conditioning condenser beer at the one in San Fran? Isn't it San Fran?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Where they were making the beer from the water, the condensation
came through the air conditioner, yeah. And the North Carolina women's basketball team will get 1 more year from Onalaska native Lexi Donarski. Donarski posted on social media, "Run it back" yesterday as she heads into her final year of eligibility. The shooting guard started in 32 of 33 games, scored in double figures 17 times this season, including 20 or more points 4 different times. Donarski is now working toward her MBA after graduating with academic all Big 12 honors from Iowa State, where she earned her undergraduate degree in management. Yesterday, Donarski was named to the All-ACC academic team.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. Bad news, happy music coming up next hour. How are we looking?
Let's see. A bill making it illegal for first cousins to marry in Tennessee has passed, but not without a fight.
Okay. Hey, listen, man. This is America. If I want to marry my first cousin, I should be able to. Who are you, Mr. Government Man, to tell me I can't marry my cousin? Cute. All right, more on that during Bad News, Happy Music. Also going to get to Doc's racing report.
Yes, because it's Friday and it's racing season.
Tom texted in, said, "Good morning, Brian, Gene, and Shaw. Can you play some Iron Maiden? Have a great weekend." Yes, I can.
Rock Mornings on your rock station.
Iron Maiden, The Trooper, that is requested music for Chris. Wanted to hear some Iron Maiden. Kathy texted in, said, "It's not fart walking, it's low-flying ducks." Quack, quack. Pam said, "Good morning. First day back after vacay. Can you play some Seether? Hope you found Gulf Shores as beautiful as I did, Gene."
I did. I was thinking about her because she had emailed saying that they were going there, and I was like, I hope she likes it.
Actually, it was Tom that wanted the Iron Maiden. Sorry, Tom. There you go. Thanks for getting in touch with us. You can visit rockmornings.com for all of our contact information. You can listen live on the website. You can also check out our daily podcast in case you missed something. For all intents and purposes, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend, starting with a lot of sunshine this morning in our area with a high somewhere in the low 60s. Looks like even into the mid to upper 70s by Monday.
Most of the state all the way from La Crosse to through Eau Claire and surrounding areas. Looks like, for all intents and purposes, probably the most beautiful weekend we've had since fall.
Yeah, don't get used to it, though. Looks like it's going to cool off by middle of next week with some weather, some rain moving in, and temps back into the 50s and 40s even by late next week. So
upper 70s for the weekend. Lots of sunshine, too.
Make the most of it.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, the Foo Fighters. All My Life. Saoirse Ronan is 30. She's in the movie Hannah. Lovely Bones. She was in that Little Women remake in 2019. Saoirse Ronan. Brandon Urie is 37, lead singer of Panic at the Disco.
I chime in with the haven't people ever heard of. Closing a damn door, no. It's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of voice and rationality.
That guy, 37.
Yeah.
Shannon Doherty, 53. Brenda Walsh on 90210. Cancer survivor as well.
Yes.
Shannon Doherty, 53. Lead singer, or sort of a half of the lead singer of one of the bands I'm very excited about seeing at Rockfest. Nick Hexum is 54, singer for 311.
I'm Nick Hexum, one who knows about things.
He knows about things. They sort of have that, like, Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Two frontmen kind of thing going on. He's one of them. Nick Hexum, 54. Amy Ray is 60. You know her as one half of the Indigo Girls.
Closer I am.
Amy Ray, 60. One half of the Indigo Girls. Art Alexakis, lead singer of Everclear, 62.
Father of mine, tell me where have you been?
Just played at Rockfest last year. Ran into him downstairs.
Is he the yell at my face guy?
No, that's the guy from Cake.
Okay.
But Art is known to have issues with fans. They played at the La Crosse Center years ago, and, look, they invited all these people to come up on stage during their last song, and people did. And then some, listen, the girl, she overstepped. She was a line stepper. She went over the boundaries of what is acceptable. Come up on stage, jump around, dance and sing, and have a good time. I get it. Take the Insta photos, but don't start touching the equipment, and don't start messing around with me while I'm trying to play. And that's what she did, and she paid dearly.
He was not having it?
No, he was not. Art Alexakis, 62, lead singer of Everclear. Letterman.
From New York, the greatest city in the world, it's The Late Show with David Letterman.
72?
77. 77. Ed O'Neill, 78. Al Bundy.
Where the beer gives you gas, but the Bundys kick ass.
At the nudie bar, Gene. Tom Clancy, the writer, born on this day in 1947. He died in 2013. He was the author of Sum of All Fears, The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger. I didn't realize they made books out of those movies. Born on this day in 1932, died in 96. Tiny Tim. Tiptoe Through the Tulips, Gene. So creepy. So weird.
Tiptoe through the window.
163 years ago today, 1861, the Civil War officially began when Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter in South Carolina. Abner Doubleday, the inventor of baseball, fired the first shot in defense of the fort. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Write that one down. 1945, 79 years ago today, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd president of the United States, died of a cerebral hemorrhage at the age of 63, just 3 months after he began his fourth term in office. 1961, 63 years ago today, Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin took a 1-minute orbit, or 108-minute ride, 108-minute ride, 10,395-pound vehicle, the Vostok 1, to become the first man in space. One orbit, once around the Earth.
Yuri.
43 years ago today, 1981, heavyweight boxing legend Joe Louis died at the age of 66.
You must be out of your goddamn mind. Joe Louis, the greatest boxer ever lived. I'll be with you boys in a minute. He was bad in Captain Clay. He bad in Sugar Ray. He bad in that. Who that? The new boy got? Mike Tyson. Look like a bulldog. He bad in him too. He done whipped Mike Tyson there. He whipped all their asses.
held the world record, or world title for a record 12 years, won 68 of his 71 fights.
Yeah.
Joe Louis. 88, Weird Al released his 5th album, Even Worse, including Michael Jackson's Bad parody, Fat. You know. Also did a parody of Tiffany's I Think I'm a Clone Now, and a La Bamba parody called Lasagna. La 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 lasagna. 1989, Great White released their 4th studio album, featuring the title track, Once Bitten, Twice Shy. Big hit. Of course.
Tragedy.
Big time tragedy.
Tragedy struck.
Several
you
years
can't
later.
say, I mean, their name is.
Yeah, it's 33 years ago today, 1991. Steven Seagal in the movie Out for Justice in theaters.
You like to beat up on women, is that it? Huh? Beat up on me.
Ooh. It was pretty much the same movie that he made all throughout the 90s. He was a tough cop. Kicked a lot of ass. 1996, 28 years ago today, the movie Fear in theaters, starring Marky Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, it could have been different, Mr. Walker. You should have allowed nature to take its course. In the end, it will anyway.
So let me the out!
Marky Mark. Reese Witherspoon. No?
I don't think I remember that one.
2005, Mudvayne released their 3rd studio album, Lost and Found, featuring Happy, Fallen to Sleep, Forget to Remember. And in 2011, 13 years ago today, the Foo Fighters dropped their 7th album, Wasting Light, featuring Rope, These Days, Walk, several others. And there you go. Some pop culture dates and some birthdays. We got Shaw coming up in just a couple minutes for one more 3-way. Bad News, Happy Music. Doc will join us to talk racing. Busy.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
One more time today, one more time this week. Shaw in the newsroom for a 3-way. What's happening?
An 18-year-old who triggered a bonfire explosion that injured more than a dozen people at a backyard gathering in eastern Wisconsin has been sentenced to a year in jail and 5 years probation. Sam Armstrong appeared in a Shawano County courtroom yesterday after pleading no contest to 13 counts of injury by negligent use of an explosive. Armstrong was attending a bonfire back in October of 2022 with other teenagers in Maple Grove, about a half hour northwest of Green Bay, when he threw a barrel containing a mix of gasoline and diesel into the fire, sparking an explosion that burned at least 17 of the roughly 60 kids who were there. He told police he did not know his actions would cause an explosion and injure anyone. He later told investigators he had been drinking beer. He faces several civil lawsuits filed by some of those who were injured.
I'm sure. Does he have any idea, like in retrospect, how really stupid that was? And
yes.
How
he has been very remorseful.
Okay.
Saying he was sorry, ashamed, and embarrassed.
I'm sure.
A number of classmates showed up at the hearing to say that they forgive him for what he had done.
Yeah.
A 54-year-old Minnesota man convicted in the slaying of a high school student and stabbing of 4 others who were tubing on the Apple River. A Wisconsin jury found Nicolay Mew guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, along with 4 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safety and 1 count of battery. 17-year-old Isaac Schumann of Stillwater was stabbed to death in July of 2022 while he and the other victims were tubing along the Apple River. 2 men from Luck, a woman from Burnsville, Minnesota, and a man from Elk River, Minnesota were all wounded. Mew attacked the group after people accused him of approaching children in the water. He told investigators that he acted in self-defense. Federal authorities have now charged the former longtime interpreter for Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani with federal bank fraud. Prosecutors allege the interpreter stole more than $16 million from the Japanese baseball star to cover his gambling debts. The attorneys announced the charges yesterday. The interpreter was abruptly fired by the team after the scandal surfaced last month, and Major League Baseball opened its own investigation. Much of the nation was captivated by the season that Iowa women's basketball star Caitlin Clark had. Now, she will not be back with Iowa next year, but fans will still get plenty of chances to see her play. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will be showcased by the WNBA with 36 of their team's 40 games on its national broadcast and streaming platform, starting with the season opener on May 14th. Last season, the Fever had only 22 of their games shown nationally. The Fever, who are expected to take Clark in the WNBA draft on Monday, will appear 8 times across ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. They'll also be on CBS, NBA TV, Prime Video, and once on the CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, I think they had one nationally televised game this past season, and now they're going to have a whole bunch more.
Yep, people want to see her play.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You're going to give them the product that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Love your product, man.
I love your product, man.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. Bad news, happy music coming up in just a bit. Going to get to Doc's racing report after Stained here and now.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Stained here and now. It's Friday. It's about 8:25, and that means one thing and one thing only. The mid-pack legend, Mr. Technicality, Car 54, Billy Doc Niles, a.k.a. Captain Retirement, a.k.a. hashtag Mr. Fister, a.k.a. hashtag this guy.
Happy July.
It's like 2 months from now, dude. Happy 4th of July. Hashtag this guy.
I'm kind of anal.
Ooh, it's kind of anal, Gene. Hashtag this guy.
He's got it locked on the rock. He's listening to the doc.
Hashtag this guy.
You're getting a thrill by listening to Bill.
Hashtag this guy.
Gonna have to come from the back.
Do you know how many references there are in racing to things that sound?
Hashtag this guy.
He gets to stay on the box.
See what I mean?
Hashtag this guy.
Whoa, what am I touching here?
Whoa, what are you touching, Doc?
Well, Brian, I'm actually touching all of my camping equipment because tomorrow Mrs. Doc and I get to go out to the campsite and get it all cleaned up and set up because next week we get to start camping. They're giving us a day to set everything up. So looking forward to that with the weather predicted in the mid and upper 70s. Going to be a good day to hang out at the old campsite. Just a little bit quick news, not even NASCAR related, sort of, but Kyle Larson was out doing a test session, for the Indy 500 earlier this week and turned a lot of heads. He posted the second fastest speed at over 226 miles an hour. That shows he's catching on to these Indy type cars real quick. He's going to be one to watch when they do all their practice and qualifying leading up to the Indy 500 on Memorial Weekend. This week, NASCAR is at Texas. That's a 1.5 mile cookie cutter. We talk about all those tracks that try and look like Atlanta and Charlotte. William Byron won this race last year. It was actually in September. Qualifying record was set by Kurt Busch in 2017 at just under 201 miles an hour. Fantasy experts, they like Larson, Reddick, and Byron when I filled mine out last night. Hamlin, Truex, and Logano are names that you got to look at if you got one of those top 10 lists. VegasInsider.com via the BetGM app brings us our odds this week. Larson at plus 425, Hamlin at plus 650, Byron and Reddick at 700, Blaney at 1,000, Truex and Bell at 1,200. Now, the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway is looking for national anthem singers. If you got a great voice and you think you've got what it takes to belt out the national anthem, or even if you got a cool instrument that can do it, give the Speedway office a call and get on the 2024 season list to perform the national anthem. Red Cedar Speedway put a similar ad out like this on Facebook on Tuesday morning looking for national anthem singers, and by Wednesday night, they booked their entire season. So, kudos to all the talented singers of the Chippewa Valley. Speaking of Red Cedar Speedway, tonight is the night. That's right, the 2024 season opener. It's the Randy Buss Icebreaker Classic. Late models, modifieds, super stocks, Midwest mods, street stocks, all in action tonight. Gates open at 5 p.m., practice at 6. First green flag drops at 7 p.m. on the season. And how cool is that? We get to talk about weekly racing finally. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're at in the country, get out and support a local short track. Doc's smoker calendar for tomorrow, only one on the docket. It's the Shelby Lockington Motorsports Smoker that's celebrating her 2023 Hobby Stock Championship at Thomas Sparta Speedway when she bested 24 other hard-charging hobby stocks. Also, they're going to be raising funds for a late model ride for her. She turned enough heads where a late model owner decided he's going to give her a shot. She's going to be running for the CWRA Rookie of the Year this year. So they're going to be raising a lot of funds for both those cars. That'll be at Rumors Bar and Grill in Mindoro. Gun raffles, tip boards, 50-50s, lots of games. Live auction will be at 6 o'clock. Party starts at 3 p.m. And remember, during smoker season, get out and support a local short track team. This race report has been brought to you by our friends at County Materials on Empire Street in Holman. That is this week's race report.
Thank you very much, Doc. Appreciate it. Have fun out at the campsite this weekend.
That sounds like springy summer stuff, doesn't it? Going to the campsite?
Well, you shouldn't have too much to clean up either. I know I've got friends who say they went to their campsite, and normally the campground they go to gets flooded because we get so much snow and rain and everything else. But they said it's pretty dry this year because of the lack of snow and easy to clean up. So, very springy. Shaw will give us the bad news with happy music in just a bit. We'll get to our daily check-ins as well. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
A Friday edition. Jam-packed with goodies. What do we got?
Well, a bill that passed the Tennessee legislature that would make it illegal to marry your first cousin in the state. But it did not pass without argument from one lawmaker who wanted an amendment to make it legal for cousins to marry each other. The bill, as amended, would prohibit first cousin marriages unless the parties to the marriage contract receive counseling from a genetic counselor licensed by the Board of Medical Examiners. Now, one lawmaker, explaining his reasoning, said the bill was introduced as a public health-related matter, but said the law needed to be passed to prevent cousins from getting married and conceiving a child that could have an increased risk for birth defects. One lawmaker argued, however, that two men who are first cousins or two women who are first cousins could get married without the risk of conceiving a child with birth defects, since, they can't conceive a child. Ultimately, the bill banning marriages between first cousins was passed in the Tennessee legislature.
You know that metal plate in my head?
How could I forget?
I had to have it replaced because every time Catherine revved up the microwave, I'd piss my pants and forget who I was for a half hour or so.
Cousin schmuzzin'.
Right. Cousin Eddie. A Catholic watchdog group is calling for a ban on a new commercial that is airing in Italy because it depicts nuns eating potato chips instead of communion wafers. The Italian Association of Radio and Television Listeners said the commercial for Amica chips is blasphemous and offends the religious sensitivity of millions of practicing Catholics by trivializing the comparison between the potato chip and a communion wafer.
You trying to tell me that nuns can't enjoy some potato chips?
Well, yes, they can. Just not as a religious sacrament. One person said Christ has been reduced to a potato chip, debased and vilified like 2,000 years ago.
What do they do with the other 23 hours and 59 minutes of their day?
Right?
They give it up to Jesus? Mm-hmm. Then okay, give them a minute to eat some chips.
Beating the nuns.
Beating the nuns, right, Gene? You got to beat them nuns.
Beating the nuns. Don't do that.
A 49-year-old woman in Seminole, Florida, told deputies she didn't realize that she was driving around on only 3 tires. Police arrested Anna Louise Keller after getting multiple 911 calls reporting that she was driving a dark gray Nissan Rogue recklessly with no passenger front tire. Deputies saw her driving and conducted a traffic stop.
On the caliper? Or?
When they spoke to her, she smelled of alcohol. She admitted to drinking and told deputies she was unaware that one of her tires was missing. She failed a field sobriety test, had unsteady bloodshot eyes, blood alcohol concentration of 0.16. Deputies found 4 empty Busch Light beers on the passenger seat, along with a receipt showing a purchase date of that same day. Yes, exactly. She was charged with driving under the influence.
She was drinking the blue smoothie. Mm-hmm. What can you do?
Stay off the road?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
When police seize hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of bricks, they usually aren't referring to Legos, but that's exactly what the California Highway Patrol discovered when serving search warrants at 4 places in Los Angeles and Orange County, California, earlier this week. Investigators discovered what they estimated to be $300,000 worth of Lego sets that had been stolen from stores like Target, Home Depot, and Lowe's.
So what is that, like 3 or 4 of them?
Yeah, 3 or 4 different kits, right? They're so expensive.
Dude, those things are super. They can be, at least.
Over $100 easily.
Well, we were at Barnes & Noble's recently, and they've got some of those really
the cool
intricate.
Ones.
Yeah, and
Star Wars.
They got the
chips.
I think the Home Alone house was like $200.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it ain't cheap.
A bakery in Kansas is looking for a lost diamond. The woman, the wife, It's a husband and wife that run the bakery.
Okay.
She owns a cookie shop and a cafe in Kansas, and it appears her expensive diamond was lost in the dough.
So the ring or the diamond out of the ring?
The diamond itself.
Ooh, it popped out of the ring.
The mount is still there. She said, I looked down at my hand and saw the center diamond was gone. That's according to Dawn Monroe, the baker. Workers at her place, Sis Sweets, put on and take off more than 119,000 rubber gloves every year, but this has never happened before. The wedding ring that was chosen by her husband is now missing its main diamond. She said somewhere between rolling the dough and making the cookies last Friday, the center diamond must have dropped into the dough. The search has been narrowed to either chocolate chip, sugar, or peanut butter cookies. She's put out a plea to her customers to use caution when biting into one of the cookies.
Yeah.
She hopes to find the diamond, but acknowledged she'll have to replace it if it's not found.
I looked down at my hand and the center diamond is gone, banging the bowls and the pans. So we kind of went back to the kitchen and looked around. I was crying, and all he could say is, you still have me. That made it all better. It's 36 years on this hand, but I would definitely make it worth your while bringing it back.
Nice.
You still got me, honey.
Yeah.
I know you don't have that
symbol,
that diamond that I bought you, but you still got me.
I'm still here.
Hey, look at me over here. I'm over here now. Hey, you got me still. I'm sure she's really thrilled by that. Thanks, honey. Really put it in perspective there.
I get those taxes done yet?
No.
The deadline is Monday. And there's a fun reminder that the government does take a bite. A study found the average American will pay just under $525,000 in taxes in their life. That's not just income taxes. It includes things like sales taxes and property taxes. Altogether, it amounts to about 35% of all the money we earn. It depends on where you live, though. People in one state actually have to cough up over half of their earnings. In New Jersey, 54% of your money gets taxed away. Connecticut is next at 49%, then Vermont and New York. Compared to that, people in Alaska have it pretty easy at just 25%. After that, it's Delaware and Louisiana.
Yeah, one more thing. None of them want to pay taxes again. Ever.
Think you can make that happen?
Right?
You save the Earth from an
Just
asteroid?
save the Earth. They should be able to, right?
How about that?
If libraries want to make it through another century, they probably don't want to make a habit of blinding the next generation. A library in New Jersey made a little goof earlier this week when they got a bunch of eclipse glasses so that local children could witness the wonders of science. But instead, it became a lesson on the evils of big business. The library in Jersey somehow figured out that the eclipse glasses that they were handing out may have been counterfeit. Thankfully, they noticed it ahead of time, but just barely. About 2 hours before the eclipse, the library sent out a panicked message on Facebook warning people not to use the glasses they gave out. They said they bought the glasses from Walmart.com, and they were labeled as a brand approved by the American Astronomical Society, but they later learned that they may be knockoffs. They also provided some information on how to test the glasses. There's no indication that anyone was seriously hurt from the glasses yet, and technically they could have been perfectly safe. It's just that the library couldn't be certain of their effectiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to
Maybe
make
check
sure those are not fake.
Before you get a bunch of people suing your ass.
Meanwhile, people are making fake eclipse glasses.
Yeah. Well, they were in high demand, Sean.
I guess. This story out of Idaho. An 85-year-old woman who shot and killed a man after he broke into her home in the middle of the night was threatened, hit, handcuffed to a chair, and shot herself multiple times. The home invasion happened.
So he breaks in, ties her to the chair, beats her up, shoots her, and then she somehow breaks loose and then shoots him?
Well, actually, she shot him first, as it turns out. The prosecutor
didn't kill him, dude. All right.
Prosecutor's office identified the 85-year-old woman as Christine Jenahan. The suspect is Derek Mark Condon. The two apparently were known to each other. Police say this is not a random incident. His death has been ruled a justifiable homicide. Now, it happened when she was sleeping, and the only other person in her home was her adult disabled son. She said she was woken by an unknown man, later identified as Condon. He was dressed in a military jacket, wearing a black ski mask, pointing a gun at her. He cuffed her and took her into the living room and then started hitting her in the head. After taking her at gunpoint into the living room, he handcuffed her to a chair and asked her where the valuables were. She said there were a couple of safes downstairs. So he left her handcuffed in that room while he went to search for the valuables. While he was down searching, she was able to, while still tied to the chair, maneuver herself over to her bedroom where she kept her revolver. She then went back into the living room, waiting to see what happened next as he continued to burglarize their home. Ultimately, she made the decision it was now or never and drew her gun and shot Condon, hitting him with both shots. He returned fire and emptied his 9mm pistol and hit her multiple times.
Dude, is there video of this?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, my gosh.
He ended up dying from his wounds. The elderly woman, still handcuffed, fell to the floor where she remained for about 10 hours.
Oh.
She was ultimately able to call 911 after her son gave her a phone. Deputies responded and provided life-saving measures. They say the law in Idaho regarding self-defense is clear. No person in the state shall be placed in legal jeopardy of any kind whatsoever for protecting himself.
Dude, she was handcuffed and somehow
85 years old.
And found her way to the bedroom, got her gun, and then shot him twice.
Yes.
While handcuffed.
F-A-F-O.
And then fell over and laid there for 10
hours. Yeah, and survived, by the way.
Hell yeah.
And I thought Canadians were supposed to be polite. Cops near Toronto got a call about a break-in. The person stole some jewelry, clothing, sunglasses, and prescription meds. They also left something behind, a big old dookie. The homeowners walked into their bathroom and found a, quote, large bowel movement in their toilet. So apparently the burglar used the bathroom and didn't have the courtesy to flush. It's not clear if the homeowners flushed it before police could collect the DNA sample.
It could have DNA on it.
But it turned out they didn't need one because 3 days later, cops spotted a 22-year-old woman walking around in the victim's clothes. So a woman did it. She's facing charges for breaking and entering and possessing stolen property.
Like a double-decker or just didn't flush?
No, she
just didn't flush.
Big old poopy in there, huh? Even if she had flushed it, it wouldn't have mattered. She was caught walking around in their clothes. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This porridge is too cold. This porridge is too hot. This toilet is just right. Left her dookie behind, huh?
Yep.
Hey, at least she used a toilet. She could have.
I guess there's that.
Well, she could have pooped on the floor or pooped in their bed or in their vegetable crisper. You know?
The extra effort to flush would have been nice, I guess.
Wow, but yeah, she used the toilet. She has some manners. Right? She's housebroken. Bad news, happy music. Thanks, Shaw.
Yep.
Talk to you next week. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the weather. Be careful on that scooter, buddy.
I will.
Five Finger Death Punch now. We'll get to our daily check-ins after the bleeding.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Got an email from the Root Man about my 3 bags of fiber oatmeal.
Yeah, you overdid it is what you did. The super fiber oatmeal.
High fiber oatmeal.
You had too many.
Said, how much weight did you lose? I said, well, I'm still fat, so obviously not enough. Jim texted in, FAFO, don't mess with grandma, LOL.
Yeah, totally. 85, handcuffed, went to, somehow...
Handcuffed, shot, and beaten, and then still managed to shuffle her little chair over to her bedroom, get her handgun, come back, wait for the guy, and then killed his ass.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I know.
That's the best way to. That's the best way to treat somebody who breaks into your house.
That is just a crazy story.
Cavi texted in earlier saying it's not fart walking, it's low flying ducks. Talking about the lady who said that
eat your fiber, go for a walk.
After you have a high fiber dinner, you're supposed to go for a long walk and drop ass all over the neighborhood.
Right. Do that.
Pam texting in, just got back from vacation. She was in the same place you were.
Right down the road, a piece, as they say.
She said, good morning, first day back. After vacay, could you play some Seether? Hopefully you found Gulf Shores as beautiful as I did, Gene.
I did.
You've been there before, though, right?
Yeah, I have. My mother-in-law lived there.
Tom wanted to hear some Iron Maiden. We did that. Tisha wanted to hear some Incubus. We did that. Charlie wants to hear some Rammstein. Try to get to that after 9 o'clock. Courtney texted in and said, can't wait for the movie. Hashtag get it grandma.
Seriously, her family must be like... Well, then she laid
on the floor for 10 hours.
10 hours.
while she was shot and tied to the chair, right? Yeah. Crazy. Wild story about Grandma. Thank you very much for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. We'll talk to you next week.